Hey guys, it's Valerie with Feathers Alchemy. I am coming to you today to just catch you up on some things that have been happening lately. I know I mentioned in a previous video that I had watched this movie called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and I recommended to you guys to all watch it. For me personally, it conjoined my spirituality with this other aspect of my curiosity towards the universe and everything and what else is out there, and I really found a lot of value in the movie. I also met a group of people here in my town, San Antonio, that practice the CE5 meditation, so I've been meeting with them on a consistent basis, and it's just been very interesting, the stuff that's come about from this. The first couple times that I was with my group trying the meditation, nothing really happened, nothing out of the ordinary, other than, you know, us getting to know each other and, you know, trying out different methods of meditation. And I think I want to say it's probably like the third or fourth time that we met that we actually did see something that we couldn't immediately identify as like a satellite or a plane or this or that. So it's been very interesting. The very last time that it happened, we were making an attempt to communicate telepathically, and I know this sounds crazy, but it actually seemed to work. It seemed like when we would say something like, "If you can hear us, blink," and then it would blink, we were like, okay, that's a little strange, right? So it's been pretty crazy. I posted about it on my Facebook page, and my dad, who also is an alien UFO person as well, very curious about it, saw my post on Facebook and reached out to me, and we had this long conversation. My dad and I are very close, and we have a really good relationship. So we talk about a lot of things, and this is one of them. And my dad actually had an experience which I wanted to share with you guys. He was really young. He was probably about 5 years old when he was, him and his family had seen what they thought was an alien spacecraft, and it was not very high in the sky. Like, they could see through the windows or whatever. They could even see like silhouettes or like humanoid type figures. And it was something that was so huge, and this had to have been in like the early 60s. And so that experience stuck with my dad like his whole life, and he's often told me about that experience. And I guess only later in his life did he ask his mom about it, my grandmother, and she confirmed, yeah, that they saw that. And then today I was talking to my aunt on the phone, who is my dad's sister, and she was like confirming everything, that there were other members of my family also that all saw it, and they all had very similar stories of what they remember. So, you know, and typically when I think of like a UFO, I think of a spaceship, something like that. But in my experience with what's been happening in my life lately, and then also with an experience I had about a year ago, it was the very first unidentified flying object I ever saw, personally me. It was very different than a spaceship. It was just like a light in the sky. It's been a journey, like, and I feel like in the last couple of weeks that curiosity has come forward in just a big way in my life, and I feel like I'm running into all kinds of people now. It's like I feel like the universe is bringing it to me, because it's like I'm hearing these conversations. Like at work today or yesterday, I overheard some guys talking about aliens and things like that, and so I immediately took the opportunity to tell them about CE5, or Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and human initiated contact. After watching this movie, I kind of feel like it's my civic duty to really try and get everybody to watch the movie and do their part, because we really need to get 1% of the population awakened and enlightened to this idea, because there's just so much going on in the world, and I wish I was articulate enough to explain everything that that they kind of lay out in this movie. So I encourage you to watch the movie, and also of course do your own research and see what jives with you. But it was interesting that my dad talked to me on the phone, and we talked about that. He kind of was recalling that, and he also started opening up to me about sleep paralysis. Like, my dad has had, and this was out without me ever even mentioning it. Like, he brought up this issue that he's had, and he had a very hard time talking about it. My dad was raised Catholic, and even though he's open and he allows me to kind of like do my own thing, and he doesn't really question me about being a pagan, and he always calls it my broomstick. So he's very you know, open to that, or at least to he knows I'm not an evil human, basically. But at the same time, like, he still has his Catholic roots that is very hard for him to leave behind, and he has no intention of leaving behind, even though he does have these curiosities about what else is out there because of his experience and everything. So yeah, we talked about him having sleep paralysis, chronic sleep paralysis, and astral projections. And he was talking about the feeling of floating to the ceiling. And it was just really crazy for me. It kind of felt like one of those moments where everything comes full circle. Like, it kind of was like, okay, well, maybe it's in my genetics, maybe it's in my DNA that I was just predisposed to have chronic sleep paralysis and, you know, astral projection experiences, because before I even started willingly doing astral projection, I was always doing, I was always having sleep paralysis. Like, it would just happen all the time. And I was really afraid of it for a long time. I know I've mentioned this in countless videos before this one, but I would always sleep with the light on because I was so scared of it. And then once I got stronger in my spirituality, I left that behind, and I sort of started fighting back against these like shadow people, or whatever you want to call them. So I definitely feel like at this point I'm coming from a place of strength and faith and a strong sense of spirituality. And then with everything that's happening lately, with whatever else is out there, like, I can only tell you that it's just such a positive feeling when you have an experience or a sighting. It makes you feel like you're not alone in the universe. And of course we know that we're not alone, and we know that things happen, and we sometimes feel lonely. I mean, even as an introvert, I like would consider myself an introvert. I like being home. I like being, you know, on my own. I'm not one of those people that gets, like, an extrovert, they get energy from being around people. Like, for me, it can be draining. Even then, it's like I still feel like I still can get lonely sometimes, which actually is not going to be happening for very long, because my boyfriend is moving from California to move in with me next week. So we've been talking about this for a while, and yeah, so he's driving. He's right now in the middle of packing all his things, and we've been doing a long distance relationship for about a year. And yeah, so we finally just decided to take the plunge. We got an apartment. We're gonna rent first just to make sure we can stand each other before we make any major decisions. But so yeah, so he'll be here next week, and we are staying in Marfa because he's driving all the way from California, and I'm gonna meet him in a place called Marfa, which is in West Texas, and it's like this desert land. And I would really like to practice my CE5 meditations out in the middle of the desert, where you can see all the stars, where maybe it's a little bit safer for the ETs to come closer to you during meditation. So I'm really looking forward to that experience, and I definitely will post about it and probably make a vlog, maybe get some footage. The very first time I ever saw an unidentified flying object myself was in Marfa, and it was a year ago. So, and what's happening lately since I've been meeting with my group is that experience is very identical to what happened in Marfa. So just a quick catch up. I wanted to talk to you about that. Again, encourage you to watch the movie. And also this whole thing with the sleep paralysis and the astral projections, it ties into this idea of ETs being transdimensional, like my dad and I were talking about. I mean, we really kind of think that it sort of ties into that, and maybe we are experiencing beings from other dimensions. And it really just blew my mind that my dad had this experience, because I've never talked to him about it in my whole life, and I'm 38 years old. So, you know, another suggestion I would say is talk to your family. Like, there may be other people in your family that know about this stuff that you can talk to, so you don't feel so alone in these beliefs. To other people in your daily life, it may seem crazy, it may seem like outlandish, it may seem like, whoa, that person's out there, because they're talking about all this stuff. Sharing that, and I don't want to go on and on because I feel like I always do that. My little baby. Sometimes she lets me hug her for a long time. Pretty girl. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Just a quick catch up. I hope you all are doing well, and please watch the movie. Watch it with an open mind. And for me, what it's done for me is it's really given me like a new lease on life, I guess, in a way. Like, with all the madness that's going on, getting to practice this meditation with people, like-minded people, and then having these experiences, it really truly makes you feel like, wow, there's so much out there that we don't understand, and I'm not alone, you know, like in anything ever. There's always someone else, you know, with similar ideas. There's always something else out there, you know, that's of the same existence, of the same higher intelligence, you know. So that's my belief. And you guys, vaya con Dios. Have a good one. Thank you for tuning in my channel. If if you like what you see, like the video and subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And leave me a comment if you don't like it. I see some thumbs down sometimes. Let me know why you didn't like it and what I can do to improve my channel. That's it. Bye guys.